I too am a big fan of meaningless and harmless cults. Yeah, they're just fun. I've often thought about starting a cult myself. I could be charismatic enough and come up with some stupid thing to get people to get behind. But I just don't really see the point. I think cults are more fun when they just kind of spring out of nothing rather than have someone engineer them. Not to mention the fact that cult leaders usually always uh, end poorly. So I don't think I want to go there. But on to the more serious business at hand of new branding of Venture Labs. So I definitely agree with you that the vetting of potential collaborators is going to be the hardest challenge for us. And calling them collaborators kind of makes this sound like some kind of government insurgent conspiracy thing, which actually is kind of cool. There's actually a game about that, Resistance. I don't know whether we've ever talked about it or not, or whether you've ever played it. It's kind of a group game, and basically you're a resistance movement against a totalitarian tyrannical government, only there are spies in the midst of the loyal resistance members, and the spies know who they are, and the resistance members don't. The spies have to basically ruin the resistance, and the resistance have to root out the spies. So kind of cool. I love that game. We play it with our group of gaming friends here all the time. But I was thinking about it specifically because you mentioned the prisoner's dilemma that you're going to be talking about on Friday. I've always been really fascinated by that experiment and the kind of the implications in human relationships and cooperation, and also in gaming. I'm also really fascinated by the Stanford prison experiments, and kind of how they would relate to gaming as well. Putting people in charge and seeing what they do with that. There's another game, Werewolf. And I'm not sure whether, again, I've ever talked to you about it or you've ever played it before, but basically it's a cool narrative game where you have one narrator kind of running the game, and everyone else is a player with an identity. Some people are villagers, some people have different gifts that affect the game one way or another, and then 2 or 3 people, depending on how many people you have playing the game, are werewolves, secretly werewolves. Basically the way the game works is the narrator runs the game. First there's a nightfall and everyone closes their eyes, and the 2 werewolves, or 3 werewolves, however number there are, they decide that they're going to kill someone. The night ends, the day begins again, and everyone wakes up to find that one of the villagers has been ruthlessly killed by these werewolves. And then it's the villagers' job to try to root out who these werewolves are. Throughout the day, they have to talk amongst themselves and decide which of their number is actually a bloodthirsty werewolf, and then the villagers together all ruthlessly beat that person to death, whether or not they were the werewolf or not. And then it goes on from there, and if the werewolves are killed, both werewolves are killed and the game's over, the villagers win, and if the last villager is eaten, then the werewolves win. So it's kind of a fun game, kind of in both those same veins. I don't know, I'm just endlessly fascinated with games like that. I've been racking my brain trying to come up with something that would, be a fun group game like that, but so far I haven't come up with anything. If you can think of any concepts that would work in that kind of situation, I'd be open to hearing that, because I just think that would be a fun concept to work on. But yeah, back to the collaborating with other people. I know several people who are visual artists, because all of my wife's friends are all visual artists at American Greetings, who might be interested in doing something with us. I just have to kind of broach it with them and see what they'd be interested in doing. Who knows, maybe my wife would be interested. You never know. We'll have to talk this week, or over the weekend maybe, about what our plans are for next week, whether we want to keep doing the format that we're doing, or change it up if someone else is willing to come in as of next week. Otherwise we'll have to be shouldering more of the burden. But yeah, I guess that's it for me. I will look forward to your video tomorrow about the Prisoner's Dilemma, and I will see all of you guys next week.